Pain is a powerful teacher, but it is not meant to be your permanent companion. The human soul, like a deep well, contains both darkness and light. You may have carried wounds for so long that they feel like a part of your identity, but they are not who you truly are. Carl Jung reminds us that the self is a vast, untapped potential beyond the masks we wear and the scars we bear. To stop hurting does not mean to forget the past, it means to integrate it, to make peace with the shadows instead of letting them rule you. You don't have to hurt anymore. Those words may feel foreign to you, almost like they belong to someone else, someone who has lived an easier life, someone untouched by the kind of pain you have known. But the truth is, they belong to you too. They have always belonged to you. Pain can carve deep channels into the soul, shaping the way you think, feel, and see the world. It can become such a constant presence that you forget there is any other way to exist. But you were not born to carry pain forever. You were born to grow through it, to integrate it, and ultimately, to rise beyond it. There is a strange paradox in human nature: when we are hurt, we sometimes wear our wounds like armor. We tell ourselves that we have accepted them, but in reality, we are still defending them. They become a part of the story we tell about ourselves. I am this way because this happened to me. We carry the weight because letting it go feels dangerous, as if we would be unmoored without it. But this is an illusion. Pain may have shaped you, but it is not the definition of who you are. The self, the true self that Carl Jung spoke of, is far greater than any one chapter of your story. You must first allow yourself to acknowledge the pain. Many people try to outrun it, to distract themselves, to bury it beneath a busy life or a hard shell of indifference. But pain ignored does not disappear, it waits. It hides in the corners of your mind and resurfaces when you least expect it, often disguised as anger, numbness, or self-doubt. Denial may feel like strength in the moment, but it is a brittle kind of strength. True strength is softer, quieter. It is the ability to sit with what hurts, to look directly into the eyes of your suffering without turning away. This is not about wallowing in it, it is about seeing it for what it is. When you finally name your pain, you take away its ability to control you in the shadows. And then comes the part that frightens so many: letting go of the identity that is built on hurt. It is easy to think of pain as only something that happens to us, but over time, it can become something we unconsciously protect. We cling to it because it has been with us for so long, because it has shaped how we see ourselves and how we believe the world sees us. If we let it go, who will we be? This fear is understandable. The identity forged in pain can feel like an old, familiar home, even if it is dark and cold. But you are not the home you built to survive, you are the soul inside it. Letting go may feel like losing a part of yourself, but what you are really losing is the prison. And prisons, even familiar ones, were never meant to be lived in forever. Your pain may have been the structure that kept you safe once, but now it is keeping you small. To step outside of it is to risk vulnerability, yes, but it is also to open yourself to joy, to connection, to life itself. From here, transformation begins when you accept that you are not powerless. It is common to believe that healing is something that just happens with time, that one day you will simply wake up and feel better. But time alone is not enough. Healing is a choice, a daily commitment to yourself. Jung's concept of the wounded healer reminds us that the wound is not the end of the story. In fact, within the wound lies the seed of healing, not only for yourself, but for others. When you confront your pain and transform it into wisdom, you gain the power to guide someone else out of their own darkness. The very thing that once made you feel broken can become the thing that makes you a beacon for others. It is here that you begin to realize your suffering has not been meaningless. That doesn't mean it was good or justified, it means that you have the ability to create meaning from it. Pain is not inherently noble, but what you do with it can be. You can let it harden you, or you can let it soften you in the best of ways, making you more compassionate, more understanding, more deeply alive. But perhaps the most liberating truth of all is this: life is not waiting for you to be perfect before it offers you peace. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have healed every wound, silenced every fear, or erased every scar. The moment you decide you do not have to hurt anymore is the moment you step into your own power. Healing is not a single event, it is a continuous unfolding, and it begins the moment you give yourself permission to live differently. You might wonder, but what if I still feel the pain? Doesn't that mean I'm not free from it? No. Freedom is not the absence of pain, it is the absence of its control over you. It is the ability to feel it without letting it define you, to remember it without letting it dictate your present or your future. Healing is not forgetting, and it is not erasing. It is walking forward with the past behind you, no longer carrying the constant weight of yesterday. This process will not be linear. Some days will feel like you've left the hurt behind completely, others will remind you that the wound is still tender. This is natural. Healing is not about never falling back, it is about learning that when you do, you know how to stand again. And each time you do, you stand taller. There is another paradox Jung understood well: to be whole, we must integrate the parts of ourselves we once rejected. This means you do not have to despise the version of yourself that was hurt. You do not have to erase them or pretend they never existed. That person survived so that you could be here now. You can honor them without living as them. You can embrace them as part of your history, but not your destiny. And perhaps this is the most profound truth of all: you are allowed to choose joy even before you feel ready. You are allowed to smile, to laugh, to build a life you love, even if part of you still feels wounded. Healing does not require you to wait until the pain is gone. In fact, joy often helps dissolve pain faster than anything else. It reminds you that you are more than what happened to you, more than what you've endured. You don't have to hurt anymore. Not because the world will suddenly become kind or fair, but because you have the power to decide how much of your life will be ruled by what has already happened. You have the right to walk away from the story you've been telling yourself, to write a new one where the main character is not the victim, but the creator. One day, you will look back and see the path you've walked, the shadows you've passed through, the storms you've survived. And you will realize that you did not escape the pain by avoiding it, but by meeting it head-on, by understanding it, by integrating it into the larger picture of your life. You will see that your pain was not the end, but the doorway to a deeper, more authentic version of yourself. So today, decide. Decide that you are more than your hurt. Decide that the story will not end where it began. Decide that you will carry forward the lessons, the strength, the compassion, but not the suffering. You don't have to hurt anymore. Not because the past didn't happen, but because you are finally ready to live beyond it. And when you do, you will find that the world has been waiting all along. Not for your perfection, but for your presence.